Reaping seeds, sowing, harvest, reaping, man of meager means. I have yet to leave, I'm still breathing. To quit, I have no reason. I mean, I'm asleep, but I be trying to live my dreams. I cannot even act if it's all easy. Either you gon' do it or you don't. Really, it ain't no in between. Baby, you can ask the sun, it's an everyday thing. Consistency in your routine is how you bring reality. Working like a slave, that's how I made this masterpiece. Living like a god, I lay at night, I rest in peace. They remember me, but I am not Haram or beef.
Peace, 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 light and illumination. That was Noble Brian Hicks Bay with the banger fire intro, as always. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. Peace, love, and light, and welcome to another BBT, Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School, Sunday School, with the Honorable Sheikh Kyrie Goodman, El Bay. Islam Sheikh, how you feeling today?
Father's Day. Man, Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to you, man. You know it.
Islam. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, our Father in heaven, and all the great fathers in the flesh here on earth. You know, Islam and gratitude and high honors. But like we said, you know, welcome to another BBT Sunday School. Grace and peace, you know, to all life seekers. You know, if this is your first time tuning in to a BBT Burning Bush Tabernacle class, we like to just say Islam. You know, grab your notebook and your pen, you know, and get ready to learn on this Sunday. Gratitude for all of you all being here. Support something real and donate to our temple and school. You know, we're a temple and school. Donate to our temple and school. If you're here today with us, if you hear something that piqued your interest, motivates you, encourages you to want to come back to another class of ours and contact us, please donate, you know, through Zelle 602-473-8767. And please contact us via email as well at burningbushtabernacle.ts@gmail, goodmancurry@gmail.com, bbttemple2@gmail. Visit us on our websites. Support. bbtsciencetemple.com for all information related to the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School. MorrisHaberdasher.com for all your Morris regalia. Please support. If you're into the science, if you're interested in books, old books, expensive books, mypdfbooks.com, that's books with a Z. mypdfbooks.com, that's books with a Z. Herbs of my yacht at herbsofmyacht.com for your teas. We got it all here at the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School. And again, we just appreciate you for tapping in to another BBT Sunday School. I'd like to get us started with our Moorish American prayer sheet.
Absolutely.
Allah, Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation by night and by day through his holy prophet, Noble Ali. Shalom Malakim, Ayah Asha'ayah, Islam, amen. Peace, 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 peace.
Peace, peace, peace. Gratitude and love, Noble.
Gratitude.
Mm-hmm. Gratitude. You got our aims? You want to go over our aims? Or you want to get right into it?
I can go over, I can go over our aims.
Islam. Gratitude.
Islam. And the BBT aims of our temple and school. Our introduction to our aims. Scientific study will illuminate the student that Yahweh, our Elohim, God, the creator of this stellar and ecclesiastical universe, has stipulated in all Bibles, regardless of the translation. Islam knows though. Regardless of the translation, a pattern that he, Yahweh, Elohim, gave Moses in Mount Sinai in the year 1490. It is by a profound knowledge of the construction and operation of this divine pattern of the Mosaic tabernacle in relation to every created object in the universe, whether visible or invisible, that will reveal the answer to every question concerning Yahweh, Elohim, and Yahshua, the Messiah, as he really is in his eternal purpose and plan. The Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School is not a church, but a school of research founded with the idea in mind to delve into every branch of science according to the pattern of the tabernacle, which is man-made in the image of God, Allah, arm, leg, arm, head, to find an answer to every question that has plagued the student from the foundation of the world, thus proving the unerring accuracy and infallibility of the Bible. In research and study, we always use the true Hebrew names of the unity of the spirit of the so-called Godhead. Instead of the title God as the Father's name, we are using the correct Hebrew name, Yahweh. Instead of Jesus Christ as the Word or Son's name, we are using Elohim, which is the correct Hebrew title of the Father, Yahweh, in superincorporeal form. For the Holy Spirit, which is Yahweh Elohim, manifested in a physical body, we are using the correct Hebrew name, Yahshua, the Messiah. These holy names may seem to be of private interpretation, which we at the Burning Bush Tabernacle have invented, but through research and study with a good encyclopedia or dictionary, anyone can discover for themselves this great error. There was never a J in any language until the Middle Ages. Neither was there a letter even equivalent to the letter J in the Hebrew language. Therefore, such names as Jesus or Jehovah, with all due respect, are impossible renderings of the true nature of the Father and the Son, and the Father and Son. Our BBT aims are as follows. Aim 1, to illuminate the student to find and know Yahweh or Elohim as he really is and exists. Matthew 24:4. Aim 2, to form a nucleus of universal brotherhood of humanity and Yahshua the Messiah without distinction of race or nationality, creed, sex, caste, or color. Aim 3, to investigate the unexplained spirit law or the so-called law of nature and the powers latent in man, to encourage and promote the study of the scriptures, comparative religions, psychology, philosophy, and modern practical and occult science, to remove spookism, superstition, skepticism, and ignorance. Aim 6, to learn and know and understand and understand the operation of Yahweh's eternal purpose through the dispensations and ages. Aim 7, to discern and avoid being deceived by Lucifer, the serpent, the devil, the dragon, or Satan and his demons, the Lord self, operating the mystery of iniquity on earth through the dispensations of time. Aim 8, to earnestly contend for the common salvation and faith, which was once delivered to the sons or children of Yahweh. Aim 9, to make known that Yahweh from the beginning ordained that there is no other name given among men whereby man can be saved, saving the name of Yahweh or Yahshua the Messiah. And aim 10, to inherit eternal life now in the kingdom of Yahshua the Messiah with the hope of immortal glorification in the new earth state. And with that, I'd like to say peace, light, and illumination. Islam.
Islam, and gratitude and love. Gratitude and love to everybody, man. If you're here for love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, gratitude to you. Peace, Noble Dante. Peace, Noble Alonzo. Peace to all the movies that's now here. Peace to some familiar faces on TikTok. Peace and love to all the empresses, all the nobles. Gratitude for everyone. But we're going to break some science down today, me and my Noble Dantes, man, if you don't mind. And just this, how can I say? I also have a topic, but right now we're going to deal with the subtopic, or which we like to call the pre-topic, just to get you warmed up for the main topic. So when we give this biblical, how can I say it? Exoteric, not eso, because the eso inside. When I speak exoterically, I'm going to show you the exoteric, the EX. When you in the spirit, you understand the ES, and it's going to correlate if you understand the divine. This is another part of the science when I say the divine comes first. The divine comes first, always. And so we all want to be on a certain level of, how can I say, the positive and the negative aspect per se. But we're going to talk about some spiritual laws because we all like to succeed, you know? So we talk about natural laws, which governs all of creation. And in this little bit of science that me and my note we're going to give from a little research, we're going to shatter the myth that success is the result of hard work. You know, everybody tell you, work hard, work hard, work hard. All the hard work to do is get more work. Hard work is not the key to success. Exacting plans or driving ambition. When somebody say, "Oh, I just need some motivation," and it's no. You know, we're going to offer perspective on the attainment of this success within. And we all want to be under a certain spell, man. So we're going to understand our true nature and learn to live, when I say in unisex, with nature, law, and a sense of well-being, good health, fulfilling relationships, energy, enthusiasm for life. Material abundance will spring forth easily. I'm talking about things within. Remember, the spirit, when you talk negative to yourself, I know you heard this, the spirit don't know if you keeping it real or playing. The spirit don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So when you speak these negative affirmations, because that's what I call them, to yourself, the spirit don't know if you playing or not.
Wow.
So I hope we understand about casting spells, Dantes, and manifesting things. You know what I mean, Nova?
Islam, like you said, the subconscious wouldn't know either way, you know, when you being negative or if you pretending or you doing this or doing that, you know. So it's best to just be real.
Yeah, it always is. It's always when people say, well, to motivate someone else. No, the science is for yourself. That's why the prophet said, that's why teachings, all sages says, take these keys and do what? Learn yourself. And when you thought you learned something, study some more. Like this is all about self first. To look within, to not look at the toothpick in someone's eye, to look within. When we talk about when we in a craft, because we are in a craft, now we are able to say, hey, this is off from your craft if we are in the same craft. See, it's a whole different language what I'm saying. If we are in the same craft and you're a craftsman and I'm a craftsman and I say, man, it's something wrong with this, what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like it's a certain way that we do this because we certify, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So these is the things. And so we're just going to touch on a few of spiritual laws of success. I know we heard of the 7 Kemetic principles, but we're going to touch on this and let's give it a little flip and we're going to get into the main topic. But the law of pure potentiality, and we're just going to jump through it. I'm not going to go through it all in detail, but the law of pure potentiality. This law is based on the fact that we are in our essential state, pure consciousness. Pure consciousness is pure potentiality. It's filled on all possibilities and infinite creativity, being infinite and unbounded. It is also pure joy. Other attributes of consciousness are pure knowledge, infinite silence, perfect balance, invincibility, simplicity, and bliss. The more you experience your true nature, the closer you are to the field of pure potentiality. The experience of the self or self-referral means that our internal reference, it points, is our own spirit and not the object of our experience. Another way to access the field of pure potentiality is through the practice of non-judgment. Judgment is the constant evaluation of things as right or wrong. Remember, good or bad. Remember when we talk about the toothpick. That's why when you doing it, when you in this science, the science must be perfected at all times. because we talked about a craftsman. 2 weeks ago in Sunday school, I gave the analogy in the Bible when I gave the analogy of a silversmith, a person that take that raw metal and makes it and put it in the fire. Like we spoke of these things. We spoke of these things.
Wow.
And this turbulence constricts the flow of energy between you and the field of pure potentiality. And as you gain to your true nature, you will also spontaneously receive creative thoughts, because the field of pure potentiality is also the field of pure infinite creativity and pure knowledge. When we talk about the Kundalini, like all these things, everything is within. It can be unlocked. Like I keep telling everybody, I say, man, if I say I had the keys, why would I not display the keys? I demonstrate the keys in my life. The affluence of the universe, the lavish display and abundance of the universe is an expression of the creative mind of nature. The more tuned in you are to the mind of nature, the more you have access to this infinite, unbound creativity. I mean, this is simple. This is simple. Dantes, when we be talking about giving, and I just talk about myself, because I think we got programmed and conditioned to always look at the negative, because TikTok is everything is, social media. So everything is a mockery. Everything is a skit now. You know what I mean? And so all we see is the worst of. We see the so-called hustling preachers and all this. But brothers like us, that's righteous. I feel we should get the same attention as what we do, and we'll just get up and go to church and then come home and talk about it. And then you ask somebody, say, what do you get? Nothing, but you go and donate. And so I always say the law of giving. The law of giving. When something's good, the law of giving. I always talk about a gift. Man, and when I be academic with a lot of students and things, they say, hey man, I remember one day they was having a debate in class, and the students were like, man, don't count my pocket because you can't say what I can give. One of the students was like, I'm just telling everybody every time she come give. And these other nationalities, because y'all met me in different places. Like some people met me at GCU in the library, lecturing on live, Mm-hmm. And so when a lot of those things come that way, they be like the stuff that I talk about on social media. It'd be the real thing that I experienced at GCU when I say I used to be on campus all day. I'd do a lecture, and then they'd be like, man, would you stay and offer some of those ebooks? I remember one day on campus, I sold 1,100 books, but I gave them to them for $5 a piece because they're students, and I still do. So when I talk about the law of giving, in order to keep energy and prosperity coming to us, we have to keep the energy circulating. And people don't even really get this. I say, when you're dealing with something good, let's give this an analogy. Let's do this, Dantes. We the BBT in St. Louis, we popping, right? And everybody on social media, if you on TikTok and you see how many people on here and see how many people on the other platforms, if they'll be like, okay, now would y'all come to the temple and school and come to class? Everybody will say, yeah. Why? Because I'll be basing it on the people that show up every week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then the next question I ask everyone, and I'm just putting it out there, because you don't have to do nothing if you don't want to. I love people showing up. You don't have to give 75 cents. Thank you for your time. But if everyone that's on here that show up each week and they say they'll come to the temple and school, if we had it in the city, and then we say, would you give a donation? And everybody will say, yeah. And I won't say what to give. And I say, would you give a donation? And then they'll say, yeah. And then somebody say, well, what are you willing to give? If someone is willing to give and everybody is willing to give, I think that's not a bad thing.
Not at all.
I'm talking about myself. If like, because you part of this, like I said, hey, the Dantes get it popping in St. Louis. We got to do what Dantes say in St. Louis. Mm-hmm. Why? Because that's we have to do that there. But we a body, And we all contributing to this body. And that's what I'm saying. If we love something, just like when we grew up with anything we do, and if people go to church on here, because I'm sure it is people go to the church on here that follow us. And that's fine. But if we are doing these things, we have to be honest and say, yep. So if that's the case, the law of giving is a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
A river must keep flowing, otherwise it begins to do what? Stagnate, to suffocate, to strangle. Its very own life force. Circulation keeps a river and every living thing in that river alive and vital. Giving and receiving are different aspects of the flow of energy in the universe. And if we stop the flow of either one, we interfere with nature's intelligence. I'm telling you, man, like the older I get, like I'm getting ready to be 50 in January, the more I have a clear understanding, because I am a living testimony. I'm a living testimony. I'm continuing to learn. And the more I learn about these keys and the more I access these keys, instead of just putting them in the toolbox, because in our more Quran, it says these are what? Tools in a toolbox that should be what? To use to do what? Perfect man. So you can't just get the keys and put them in a toolbox.
Islam.
I'm just using different synonyms. Huh, Dantes?
Yeah, because you're just leaving it up there. You're just saying, you know, you need to utilize those tools. You need to apply them, and you know that's kind of how you understand it. You know, understand things. Just don't have it up there. Just do the work. Use the tools.
Yeah.
To manifest. You know.
Yes, because if you love something, I tell people, like, love is an action word to me. And if I always tell people, if I have something like this, which we do, because I'm a part of it, I'm not only the owner, I'm not only sheik, I'm a student just like y'all, because y'all are muftis. I mean, I learn from y'all. You know, a teacher is nothing without his brothers. A brother is nothing without his other brothers. I'm just a part of the body. You know? And the universe operates through dynamic exchange. We are exchanging things with each other. Giving and receiving are different aspects of the flow of energy in the universe. And in our willingness to give that which we seek, we keep the abundance of the universe circulating in our lives. Because the more we give, and it's not just talk about no finances, so let nobody get you caught up in that. I'm talking about give what? Your all. We talk about we give what? Oh, you talking about money? Give your all. Do everything that you can do. When you give your all, when the inside matches the outside, then that's give it all. The more you will receive, because you will keep the abundance of the universe, circulating in your life. You're working out, you're doing this, all this, the abundance in your life. See, people not in the spirit. If you're in the spirit, you will be catching what I'm saying. That's why it's a must to understand the divine comes first. This is circulating in your life. Anything that is of value in life only what? Multiplies when it's given. I'm telling you, man, the flow of life is nothing other than the harmonious interaction of all the elements and forces that structure the field of existence. And this harmonious interaction of elements and forces in our life, it operates as the law of giving. I promise you. If you give it your all to work it out and eating clean and getting rest and not drinking juices and all that and all the stuff that you say you're not doing and eat Big Macs and all that stuff, I guarantee you, and you work out 4 to 5 days a week and you run 2 or 3 miles a day, I guarantee you be in top shape. I say forget 6 months, a whole year. Give me a year working with you. Your mind, body, and spirit, you'll be a whole new vessel. Because Dante's on here right now at the testimony. That's why I say the last thing I keep telling people, man, everybody think when you get into something, boom, automatic, your money gonna get right. Man, that's false. I always clear that up for people. I say we don't curse a rich man and we don't glory a poor man. We have to understand why both is in the situation that they're in. Because acquiring a wealth of money That acquire a lot of skills. It require a lot of things that need to be in line. But we know it's strength in numbers. So I use mathematical equations. The people and a small dollar of this under the right auspices, we can have of abundance. That's a nation. That's the religious laws. So that's how I teach how manufactural, how by numbers and by people and not hurt nobody. How? Because this is what we're doing right now. Nobody life will end. Nobody life will change. That's why when I talk about giving, I can break this stuff down to where no one life change. That's what this is supposed to be about. When a person say, well, how can we do this? And a person say, well, man, that'd be too much. That'll change my life. But a person can give you numbers and break them down to a molecule and say, a person can say, man, I'm already doing that 10 times. Why? Because half of it, I'm just blowing the Chinese cigarette off. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm.
Not saying what's right or what's wrong with what nobody doing, but I'm just using that as something very simple, you know?
That's long.
When we talk about giving, you know, nothing extensive. I'm talking about when the heart feel good. I'm talking about silent kind of giving, you know, where you don't have to say, oh, look at me and say, ready, record. And now I'm giving to the such and such, such, such. You want a big plaque? None of that. It's the intention behind everything, you know? It's the intention behind everything. It's the intention behind your giving. It's the intention and giving and receiving that's most important. The intentions should always be to do what? Create happiness, because happiness is life supporting and life sustaining. And therefore it generates what? Increase. I'm telling y'all, we already talked about the crystals in water. I'm telling you, I can talk to a person that don't believe in nothing, no this and that and the other, because I already done. And when I start talking about water and crystallization and principles, they agree. They get to crying. They were like, well, see, you different. No, I'm not different. I'm just in the flesh. What? Of what we talking about? I'm one of them little droplets that I'm explaining. That's all. That's why I said, man, able to do great things, not just dribble the ball, Tyrone. We more than that.
It's long. And she,
we are into
the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And just also, you know, with the law of giving, you know, what would you say to someone who's, you know, as far as just giving? Because here, you know, you could, if you want joy, give joy to others. You know, if you want love, learn to give love. You know, if you want attention and appreciation, learn to give that same thing to others. You know, what can we say? Because there's, you know, a number of different ways, you know, we could look at that law as we apply it, you know, in our lives. Is there a basic meaning to this as far as someone applying, you know, the law given to their life? Is there, you know, it's just a very simple, you know, like an elementary child can understand, you know, what we're really just saying, because there's different ways that we can look at it, you know. But if we were just making it real simple and plain for individuals, just as far as just how you interact with yourself and others, you know, what can we bring with that? What can we say about that?
Man, you just explained it. How we interact with ourselves and others. You broke that down. That last part, when we operate that giving, it's not just when we talk about in the physical, just giving per se, and I'm gonna give this and I'm gonna give that. But when we're talking about science, it's always about perfecting self. We said the tools in the toolbox. So when we giving, you give from the spirit. Your spirit is your intention. So the first thing you have to do is what? Give all to yourself. What? A perfect pentagram. What? Get in the best shape. Because the glory of a young man is in his strength, but the wisdom of an old man is the what? Grays on his hair. But also, when we talk about the strength and working out, that go hand in hand with what we doing. That go hand in hand with what we doing. Because the vessel, if the vessel is out of shape, if we talk about one of the deadly sins per se, and you obese, the body is not going to be able to manifest and operate in its proper manifestations. It's just not. It's just not. And we don't have to get into specifics, Noble Dantes, but while I always tell a person, I can, like Brian Hicks say on his album, can't love nobody unless I love myself. So if I'm telling you, you need to do this, and you need to stop eating this, and you need to go to school and get a degree and do all this, and then the person say, well, have you done that? No. Well, you looking like you okay, so what you talk about is meaningless. You can take what I'm saying, but you can say, well, if this is what I need to do, how come you didn't do it, sir?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If it's so attainable or this and the other. So what I always say, give to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, make sure you okay first. You know, so you can be a what? A walking testimony. So a person can say they see a sermon, they don't have to hear it. They see the work. You know, they see your work. Everybody seeing your work. Everybody seeing your wisdom. Mm-hmm. It's a beautiful thing to see all the brothers, the different understanding and how we come into ourselves. For what? Wisdom. This is the part that adds value to the common man, and you become extraterrestrial. The extra about the man. This is the other key. This is part of the link. And I'll be telling brothers, I said, you missing it. Because when you get this, now you just got to manifest what your abilities are. What are your abilities? Let's come together as Voltron operate. I'm this part, you this part. Now we have a think tank. Now we have this. Now, if you got $100 and you got 300 more brothers with $100, and that's coming in each month. Now y'all got a $360,000 operation. Now y'all really popping. Y'all double that. Now y'all popping off $760,000 a year, almost $1 million operation, doing community work with your own infrastructure. This is the power. What I'm saying. This is the power.
That's wow.
So we'll go through all of them. We ain't gonna stay too long because we 30 minutes in because we want to get to the main topic. But we'll just talk about the law of karma, and everybody know what the law of karma consists of, because every action generates a force of energy that returns to us in like kind, and what we sow is what we reap. And when we choose actions that bring happiness and success to others, you know, the fruit of our karma is one of happiness and success. You see? So all these little basic keys, I'm sure we heard of them, but I think once we have them and once we can look at them for ourselves and we can go over them, and if you have a lady friend or a wife, and if you have children, these are the things that I promise you, if you sit down with your kids instead of reading some fairy tales to them, and they understand principles, and you teaching them at a young age, I'm telling you, and all the different financial keys I teach ourselves, and just understanding things at a young age, a young person would be so advanced. I know this already. So the law of karma is something that we have to understand. And now remember, because I'm always going to give you a reverse of everything. Karma is not always a bad thing. Think about that in the spirit. Karma is not always a bad thing, because they say karma, oh, you reap what you sow, or this happened to you, oh, that's karma, right? Ain't that how they say that, right, Dante?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me put it on another level on Dantes. Dantes done so amazing things. I'm just giving an analogy. Dantes will go to the store, feed people. They don't ask for nothing. So one day, Dantes karma, he go to the store. Oh man, he forgot his card at home. Dang, the lady at the cash register pay for everything for him. And be like, don't worry about it. Why, Dante? Because every time I hit you, I know who you are. You pay for everybody's stuff. It don't matter. Your karma has came back. You understand what I'm saying?
It's long. Yep.
And see, I tell you,
yep. They stack
yes.
up. Mm-hmm.
That pendulum swing the same way to the left as it does to the right. Right?
Yes, sir.
Now we'll talk about the law of least effort. Remember, I told y'all earlier, work hard, you're going to get this. Man, hard work, only thing it gets you is more work. I know all the successful people I know are successful because of least effort. The law of least effort. I'm telling you what I know. The law of least effort. See, we were taught just to work with our hands and work our feet to the bone. This is how brothers brag, man. I worked 100 hours this week.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I worked 100 hours this week. I ain't got no sleep. I'm on the grind. Man, stop it.
Yep.
Stop it.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that. But just because I understand it don't mean it's right, because it's not. We were structured with ability of a brain as well. So it's a natural, effortless ease in many things. When you hear people say, "Oh man, this is simple. I do this in my sleep." Why? Because they train their mind. It's like you have to trick yourself per se. I'm talking in layman terms. You have to trick yourself and look in the mirror and be like, "Man, I know I'm such and such, 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 such. I know such, 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 such. I know why, because that's what it's about. It ain't about knowing when the flesh is gone. We ain't okay. It's gone, it's gone. See, we observe the nature at work, Dante. This is nature. This is nature, and you will use and see the least effort. The effort is extended when you're using that mental. Grass doesn't try to grow. When people say, "Man, my grass trying to grow," no, it don't. It just grows. Fish don't try to swim; they just swim. Flowers don't try to bloom; they just bloom. This is their essential nature, Noble. It is also the nature of the sun to shine. It is human nature to make our dreams manifest into physical form easily and effortlessly. Come on, man. Least effort. Yes, you ain't gonna teach your son, "Man, son, I want you to work hard and work all these hours, man, to become home tired in the mud, hands dirty, and you'll be a hard worker." No. You're not going to teach him now. You're going to teach him the best that he want to be. Wherever he want to be, you don't have no expectations. You want your son to be the best, whatever he be. But you're going to lay a good example. You're going to lay the floor out for him to wherever he do, he going to know what? It's going to take some of this brain power.
Islam.
I promise you.
Islam. And it's something also that's going on inside when we say grass doesn't just try to grow, it grows, and fish don't try to swim, they just swim, and flowers don't bloom, they just bloom. It is something that's going on inside, like we were just saying with karma, so sowing and reaping. It happens this way because of other things that are going on within you. So when we manifest and these things, and we reap the benefits of this reaping from the sowing that we did. That's the law of least effort. It's going to be natural because of what we're doing on the inside.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. That's exactly how it goes. And people don't really understand it. I say it's serious. When you look at circumstances and events as they occur, that's you understand the moment. We accept things. We don't get frustrated anymore. Why? Because now we understand. We don't react to those things anymore. It's just when you get to that level. Why? Because those are lower things. Knowing and understanding. I'm telling you, knowing and understanding this, we can be responsible for our emotions and feelings and towards others, how we react in the world. I'm telling you, the only person that would do something to their own brother on social media and hustle and scam them is a person that's in their lower self. Because it's a premeditated thing that you're doing. Like this the thing. When you know what you're doing, it's already premeditated. Think about it. So there's no coming back from that. The spirit don't respect that. Think about what I'm saying now. So the law of intention and desire. What are your intentions? What are your desires? When I talk about your purpose in life, do you have a purpose in life? The law of detachment. In order to acquire anything in physical universe, you have to relinquish your attachment to it. All these things, when I say what, you have to relinquish attachment. Understand, not let something go, but when you are attached to something, or say something is attached to you and it's not operating on the same, how can I say, a spiritual frequency, you have to let that go to see what that frequency wants to manifest itself up to where you at. If not, then you have to see those things out. You have to see those things. Everything should be adding value to, not decreasing. If you with something 80% and then something gets with you and your percentage starts to devalue, that's something sucking your spirit. If anything you're dealing with don't add value to you, it don't make sense.
And is there such thing as just waiting too long, like to come to that realization of just, whatever that might be, just trying to detach yourself from something that might not be actually bringing you value and helping you, rise, when we think about it like that.
Well, I'll tell you this: it ain't never too late unless the flesh gone.
Yeah. Like, do we wait too long sometimes, I guess, to kind of detach ourselves from something? Like some folks, they might feel like, hey, maybe that's giving up. Maybe I'm giving up, but maybe it's been 5-10 years, you still in the mindset that you're giving up by detaching yourself. Are we just not understanding fully the law of detachment in that case?
Say that again, Dante, because you said a word, man.
Well,
wait a minute.
Well, just when you're trying to, is there a set, you waited too long, to detach, to come to the realization of this mindset, understanding the law of detachment. Like some folks might feel like, maybe they're not in the science, they're not studying, have a proper guide, to kind of help them break this. How do I think about it? But maybe they feel like just from their own history, I'm giving up on this situation, or I'm giving up on that by trying to detach myself. For someone around you, whether it's your co-workers, your business partners, your spouse, your kids, your family, your friend, whoever it might be that you're interacting with, or not even just an individual, but maybe just something, your job that you might be doing, like I said, your business, or this bad habit that detaching yourself from something, I'm giving up on this thing, that I'm trying my best to work on, but it's really not benefiting you, whatever that thing might be.
Well, for me, I like I said, I'll never say it's never too late, but address the situation. Like for me, I don't know what a situation a person will go through, but when a person say, man, well, you think it's too late, or I've been dealing with this for so long and blah, 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 I look like a quitter, or maybe say, man, I don't want to quit because people will be looking at me like this. I always say, if you ask yourself in your spirit, if something is good or bad for you, no matter if it's physical or a vice, we know that. And the individual or the situation already knows that as well. So my thing is like, I would have to address my situation, because it's never too late. It's never too late. I don't even at work. Well, for me, I always talk about laying your ground. And what you mean? Before I go on anything, these are my standards. Before I go on anything, if these are my standards, I'm gonna speak on it. But for me, man, like Dante's like that, those are so many good questions you'll be asking. That's why I be telling brothers to come to the cipher. Because what you just said is somebody out here might feel, man, it's too late, or I should give up. Or I've been struggling with drugs for too long, and I've been clean and I relapsed. Or I'm in a messed up relationship, or I'm struggling with this. But every time, every time I this and that and the other. Or I may have been in more science and liked it, but I've been following a whole bunch of stuff that have messed me up, and I put a negative connotation on things. All those things. And then when you see something real, you be like, man, you be like questioning, be like, well, why and why this? And so the pendulum swing both ways. What I always say, that's normal. That's normal. All these things normal. And that's what I tell people. I don't put time on nothing. I can't put a clock on it. But what I know that helps is being able to talk about it and address it and having these ciphers. Because it's never too late. It's never too late to address something. Could time not be on your side? Absolutely. Because some decisions you made, and you can get on here and say, man, you might be 50 years old in prison talking more science, and you might say, well, yeah, it was too late for you to get it right because you locked up. All these things. So it can go the whole way, Noble Dantes. And that's so funny you say that, because that's how important doing this right on social media really means. When we talk about time, and I use it on that level, when a person say, "Oh man, it's too late," it was never too late. Why? Because you was tuning in here. You've been following me for years.
Mm-hmm.
So it's no excuse when I be saying, and I'm saying it like this: there's no excuse of not knowing, Dantes, in the court of law, where you say, "Well, I didn't know," or this, and that, and the other. What was going to happen? You know, when a person be saying, "Well, it's too late." No, because sometimes a person stay in the midst for so long because they want to be, and then they'll use that as a crutch as well. You know, oh, well, it's too late, man. I'm in too deep.
Yeah.
Oh man, I took the oath. You've been in it for 10 years. You've been in a lower level masonry for 10 years. Man, but I've been in it. My dad been in it. But it's too late. It ain't too late. Oh man, I'm this old. But you got offsprings. And you in the sign, though, you got offspring. So I think Dr. Noble Dantes, the more you speak love and from a right understanding, like we do, and we be open, that's the only way to do things, to make this sign be right. And and that touched on the law of Dharma, or the purpose in our life. When my brother was murdered, man, my baby brother killed Jelani Goodman Bay. It's a book by a preacher, you know, a different nationality preacher. His name was Rick Warren, I think. And he had a book called The Purpose Driven Life. And that book was just basic and simple, Noble Dantes, but the book helped me. It talked to me, you know, because those words, because he went through something with his kids, you know, if I'm not mistaken, but those basic words, you know what I mean? It did something for me. And we all have our purpose in life. That's why when I always ask me, and I say, "What's your purpose in life?" And they say they don't know. And then that's when a person say, "No, well, it's too late. I'm just going to work this little job." And no, you're supposed to seek a brotherhood of the community. Like, why? Because you didn't know how to do it on your own, which the average people don't. That's why we become a body, and then you can be a part of something. And then your offspring see that, and then they have brothers, and they have sisters, and they have uncles to be a part of something. And then we become something that you want to be. You know, this is what I'm talking about. So it ain't never too late. It ain't never. But we talk about that law of Dharma. You know, your purpose in life, that unique gift or special talent to give to others. That's what we're talking about. We all got that. And so I just wanted to let us know those little 7 basics that's not even nothing hard. You know, we got a little trickle time left, but that's what we was talking about, man. All this can relate to the main topic when I can talk in layman terms. When we talk about the word was made flesh, all this stuff, it don't go outside of nothing, but people's ears have to be open to accept it. Your ear have to be open to accept some of these things, to say, okay, I see this. I see this. And I'm going to give you a little bit of it. And I hope you can follow me. For all my brothers and sisters that study the biblical text, you know, no matter what religion you are, I come in peace and love. We're not here to debate and argue. And the word was made flesh, became flesh, and dwelt among us. And we beheld the glory of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. That was in John 1:14. But do we really understand what that means? Because if we're thinking it's exoteric, it's really explaining something esoteric. I promise you this. So when we talk about God in the flesh, I'm going to use basic names so we can understand. We have already learned that the word was in the beginning with God, and the word was God. I'm using basic names, so please don't get caught up. And the name, he said God. John 1:1. Therefore, when we are told that the word was made flesh, we know that it is the same as though it said God was made flesh. This is the most sacred ground, and no one should presume to think of it, much less to speak or write of it in any other language than that of the scriptures itself. What do you mean when I say that? Because if something is already good, we don't have to rewrite it. We don't have to say this is a new translation. Just print what's already written, you know? But when we talk about the word was made flesh, you want to know what flesh, because in the biblical scriptures, it's plenty things that was made flesh. We know that, right? Like, we just talking basics. There's plenty things in the biblical text that was made flesh. All flesh is not the same flesh, but there is one kind of flesh of men, another flesh of animals, right? Another of fish, another of birds. I'm just, based off the text, you can correct me. Look in 1 Corinthians 15:39. I think it's right there. If I'm wrong, I can be corrected, but I think it's there.
1 Corinthians.
Yeah, 1 Corinthians 15:39. But it's no chance for thought that the word was made any other flesh than that of man. But the point can be noted is that there is but one flesh of man and men. So that when the word was made flesh, in this analogy or in this pictorial, it took a nature common to all men, right? Think about it. High and low, rich and poor. In the text, it says he was born of the seed of David according to the flesh. Same thing as Moors. We're from the tribe of Judah, lineage of David by blood. We're saying the same thing, but different synonyms. Romans 1:3. He is the man, Christ per se, Jesus, right? In 1 Timothy 2:5. But I hope we understand what we're talking about. The works of the flesh are evident, which are adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lewdness, adultery, sorcery, hatred, contentions, jealousy, outbursts, or wrath, selfish ambitions, hearsay, envy, murder, drunkenness, all those things. Galatians 5:19-21. You see, no man, no woman has any reason to despise another. I always talk about don't judge and look at the toothpick in someone's eye and it's a log in yours. Whenever we hear of a brutal crime or see a man, that's been done wrong, we may know it's simply the nature working of the flesh, which we share in common with him. Why? Because we could easily be that. Remember, it's just a character flaw because we all made in that same image. It can be us. Think about what I'm saying now. Not saying it's you, but it can be you. Why? Because it's flesh. It needs this view before us to enable us to comprehend the wonderful love that will lead the pure and holy Creator to come into such flesh. But this was the very flesh which the Word was made. You see? Which the Word was made, yet without sin. Although the Word was made flesh, even our own so-called sinful flesh, that's what they say. He was full of grace and truth. You and I. We were in all points tempted as we are, yet without sin. Hebrews 4:15. The Creator made us. The Creator made him. The Creator made them to be sin. You and I. Yet we know no sin. Think about what I just said. Oh, I ain't talking about nothing else. I said the Creator made us to be sin. The Creator made us. The Creator made certain things to be sin for us. Did you catch that? Yet he, she, you and I knew no sin. He, she was made to be sin. Yet he, she committed no sin, nor was deceit found in either he or she. 1 Peter 2:22. It's these two things combined that make this manifestation a sympathizing Savior. In this context, brothers and sisters, we must stay in context. This is teaching in whom we freely confide, because it's only two spirits. You know this and I know this. Our more science teaches this. No one can sympathize with another's failings. When the brother say, well, I know how you feel. No, you don't. If you have not been tempted in the same way, you don't know how I feel to lose a brother and say, well, I will do this. No, I don't think you do. You may have empathy or sympathy per se, but clearly you don't know. Because I didn't know until it happened to me. I'm just being honest with you. I didn't know what I would do until it happened to me. Because it happened to me. And it did some things to me. But moreover, those who are guilty of any sin are the quickest and fiercest to condemn others for the same sin. When I talk about you don't look at the toothpick in someone else's eye and you have a log in yours. Remember this, sinners excuse sin, but have no sympathy for fellow sinners. And when I say sin, we're not talking about, oh, you do this, no. We talk about things that you say, man, I don't need to do that no more. And you overindulge again. Or, man, I don't need to spend all my money and I know I got rent, and you do it again. It's certain things that you can clean up. We ain't talking about nothing, no what, because I'm not a judge. I'm just a counselor. You say what, Noble?
It's missing the mark, you know. Like we say, man and Allah, we made in the image. Man is made in the image and likeness, of God, of Allah, the Most High. And my understanding of that sin is just, hey, you missing the mark. Like you did it, you're not manifesting that divine. You manifested whatever you want, and maybe you operating in the lower self. You missing the mark. You missing it, the target.
Yeah. And when we talk about brothers, when we be thinking we're talking outside of ourselves, I tell people in the science, all the basic things that you think is outside symbolize the esoteric. You must have a great map and a great guide to reveal these things to you. So man must say, my navigation is off, because the compass and the square is basic tools of navigation. If you don't know how to use those tools and you don't know the language that's coming out of my mouth, then our brothers have to admit that and come together. This is what the text is about. They have to come here and learn. It's only thus who cleanse ourselves from what? The basic things that can exercise charity for erring. We talk about the Christ this and this. No, you are the Christ. You are tempted to the utmost. And in that manifestation, it said, and was always pure from the slightest taint of sin. Why? Because the tools in the toolbox. Therefore, we may trust the tools as one who knows and who cares. These are the tools. But when I give biblical text, I say, and then elders be like, they're not even catching it. The first thing they say, oh man, this is the WHITE man. You done lost out like dyslexic. Therefore, in all things, the Creator had to be made like his brethren, that he might be a merciful and faithful high priest in things pertaining to God. What if you call yourself a sheik? If you call yourself a grandmaster, where you have to be merciful and faithful. What? A high priest, a shaman, a medicine man, a seafood pertaining to what? Your craft. You must honor your craft. You don't teach students the wrong way to lead them in a burning house. You can't. To make to make alms for the sins of people. For in that he manifests his suffer, being tempted. We all are tempted, and we're able to aid those who are tempted. How? From experience. Hebrews 2:17 and 18. We can say, man, this is going to happen. Why? Because we've been there. How I'm going to tell you, that's what going through the fire is all about. So I go through the fire and I see the mistakes that my brother man will make in the flesh, and I just allow him or her to go through the fire. Or I see a young man or a young woman that's in a situation that need my help, and the parents don't bring them to me and let me counsel them online. The same way they pay thousands for it and thousands for it and eat up your insurance and then give them some medicine. And he is also able to save to the utmost those who come to the Creator through him. Hebrews 7:25. What I said, I'm talking about myself. I am able to save the uttermost those who come to God through me. The text tell me this. Hebrews 7:25. Anybody that came around me that said they wanted righteousness and they were a court jester or a charlatan, I didn't have to do nothing. The Holy Spirit it illuminated their motive. I'm trying to tell you, man, light does a plethora of things. Light does a plethora of things. And when the Spirit is operating in its illumination, the light will illuminate the situation. It will put a light bulb on the situation. I'm trying to tell you. And people sometimes imagine that because the Christ per se never sinned, he cannot so fully sympathize with us in our sin. Here comes the judgment. But watch this. But that is just why you can. That is why he can per se. They always put it like that. Because he knows the strength of temptation. I already broke down principles. What? The 7 Kemetic principles. This is one of the cause and effects, as no one else does. For he felt all the power of the lower self. The one upon whom the enemy exerts all his powers in vain knows the extent of the power more than one does who yields to it. And the man who pulls against the tide knows its strength better than the one who floats with it. And the man who successfully breasts the currents knows the strength better than one who is swept back by that current. Why? Because we're in a certain shape. So the Christ within not only knows all our need and cares for it, but it knows and is able to deliver. Come on, man. We should know this. This is biblical text. This is the same as Moore's Quran. These words have synonyms. If you missing this, I know the divine haven't came first, and you have to say you haven't studied Moore's science. And you have to be honest, because all this is what I'm talking about is in your Moore's Quran. All through your Moore's Quran, they talk about Jesus, 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 Jesus. But what do it mean? All through your Moore's Quran, that's what I'll be seeing more. I study more science. Where our prophet gathered and compiled and divinely prepared a holy book, a basic instruction, how to perfect man, a holy book, our religious book, a small compilation of the unto thee I grant, the Brahmin text, the Vedas, and some other scriptures and biblical texts. And you sit up here telling me you study more science, and when I'm speaking, you think I'm saying something foreign? How is that? And you sit up here and have a fez on your head. And then you think you some al-Islam Muslim. That ain't more science, because we're not orthodox. So when I'm speaking truth. I'm breaking this down. We're from the tribe of Judah, lineage of David by blood. What are we talking about? I keep telling people, my dissertation, I proved that we the father of civilization, proved by the Bible. From no racism, from no hate, from no prejudice. I lecture misnomer European Jews, use they encyclopedias. Dispel all the so-called anti-Semitic made up stuff to keep you not talking about certain things. From wisdom. So when I break these biblical basic tools down, you should have read your Moore's Quran already and understood what I'm saying. That's how I know you don't study the basics. That's how I know that what you say you're under is going to be used against you. This is how I know. This is how I know. Because the Moore's Quran is the basics, and I'm talking basics. It is quite commonly assumed, we got a little bit more, we at 104, I'll get 5 more minutes and we out. It is quite commonly assumed that the word was made flesh in the person of so-called Jesus of Nazareth, or Yahshua the Messiah. I mean, we heard the story. We heard that story a plethora of times. But what do it mean? What do any of these stories mean? The word was made flesh. For whose benefit? Right? For whose benefit? Man's condition and needs. And thus be able to sympathize with us. This is us. It's talking about you. The word was made flesh. For he know our frame. He remembered that we are dust. Psalms 103 and 14. You have searched me and known me. You know my sitting down. We created how? In a perfect image. How can we not be created in a perfect image? And it's describing a perfect image. Same thing your Morris Quran saying. There's different synonyms. And you can't sit up here and say the Morris Quran goes against the biblical text, because then you wouldn't be telling the truth. Still in the flesh, every spirit that confesses that Yahshua the Messiah is come in the flesh is of God. And every spirit that confesses, you know who? Yahshua. I'm just breaking down your biblical text. It's no hate. It's no hate with nothing. It's an understanding. But what is the Christ? You should have read your Morris Quran and said, "Oh, I do know what Jesus is." You would pick up the language. You would pick up the basics. Brothers still haven't picked up the basics. Brothers still haven't picked up the basics. In every man, the word was made flesh and dwelt among us. Literally, tabernacle in us. I keep saying us and us. But since all human flesh is the same, and the Christ took the flesh commonly to what? Humanity, to show how closely God is identified with the human family, it follows that he is in all, just to extend that any will allow him. Why? Because the word was made flesh. We are made in the image of the Creator. The Creator is not far from you and I, which means that she is very near to every one of us. So near that in him we live. I mean, come on, and move and have every being. That's Acts in your biblical scripture, 17:27. Come on. Our Quran tells us this, Morris. I'm giving you the analogy, the parable, the symbology, the metaphor. Even Moses in Deuteronomy 30, 11 and 14, quoted by the Apostle Paul in Romans 10, 6 and 8. For these two texts, we learn that the word of which Moses speaks is Christ, the same word of which John writes. So we read that the word is near you, in your mouth and in your heart. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to my noble Dante. When man honors man, he honors Allah. See how the prophet and how our teachers just make it in one sentence, how everything I just said? Well, I just said something, and then I said, when man honor man, he honors Allah. I just said the same thing, but in one sentence. Words have synonyms. And if you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth, you got to rock with me. We read the word is near you, in your mouth and in your heart. And this is not spoken to those who are perfect, but to those who are being exhorted to hear, to do the commandments of the Creator. We're not talking about no one perfect, because we're not perfect, but we're here to do the law and the commandments. What? Treat others as we want to be treated. That's it. That's the basic commandment. That's number uno for me. But the word is very near you and in your mouth and in your heart, that you may do it. Deuteronomy 30 and 14. It is not there because we have done it, because we ain't did nothing so special. But in order that we may do it, it's something that we must do. This is a holistic science. Therefore, it must be in every man and every woman, since God is no what? Respecter of persons, desiring that all shall what? Resurrect ourselves and live. So in that context, it says, God is not the respecter of persons, meaning just because you a missus or a female, that don't mean you don't have the same responsibilities as holding this up and raising this up in your household. The man has the same thing. We're supposed to be doing this together, because that's what more science is about. So I just want us to understand that little bit of that, because we can go further, and I've been an hour. I don't want to go any longer. We can continue next week. But the word is made flesh. All of it goes connecting to your Morris Quran. The word is living water and must be allowed unhindered. It must flow, or else it ceases to be life to us. And so, and even holding back the word, family, That's why I must continue to do what I do. I told you, the more I've got in the word it keeps showing me stuff about you can't hold it back. You know, in Romans 1:18, you can read of men who suppress the truth in unrighteousness. I told y'all it's going to happen to all of them. That does not say that they merely have the truth in unrighteousness, but that they hold it. It ought to be allowed to run. They hold it back. And if that repressing is persisted in, the spirit of the word will finally be driven out, and the light that is in them will become darkness. But if we confess our lower self, as the word shows us, the word of the Creator will grow mightily and prevail. Read Acts 19:18-20. And I stop right there. I give y'all gratitude, man. Like I said, if those donated to our temple and school, gratitude. All our information is in the bio. Please leave your email. Please leave your email, man, for I can send you literature. And like I said, man, we just asking for support. We got a lot of things going on at the BBT. Like I said, we've been owning 10 acres of prime real estate for some years, and it's time to develop that acres. So I'm casting my net out with people that's ready to do some things, that may be doing some things small on your own and want to grow. You might have a little small so-called farm at your home, which is an honor to do, to feed your family. Now it's time to what? Do something bigger, so we can have something on some acreage and we can develop it. That's what it's time to do. And I'm telling you, man, like, we put work in. We own 10 acres of prime real estate in Kingsman, Arizona right now. And it's time to do something with that. Our information is in the bio. The Spirit just had me to speak on these things, because I always talk about you never put too much on your plate. We have 10 acres. It's time to develop 10 acres, Dantes.
Islam Sheikh is there. It's there.
We
already have it. It's time.
Yeah.
It's time.
We don't need to acquire nothing else. We need to sit down and continue to stack our bread. We don't need more of nothing. I look at it as hoarding, even though the man on land is a good thing, but we have 10 acres. Mm-hmm. Now we got to get with the right people and let's develop this 10 acres. Let's sit down as a round table. Mm-hmm. Let's sit down as a think tank, y'all. This what I was able to see. They call it Silicon Valley. As we close, I was able to see this. And then everybody go private, and we have our private Zoom conversations, and to where we develop. We already have 10 acres. We can build on 60% of our land. It's time.
Modular.
We have an infrastructure.
Yep, figuring it
yes,
out.
And we can figure so many other things out, and we have access to show brothers and sisters to purchase land in certain areas, and we do things as a community. For it's not just us. It's a group of people. It's a group of Moors. When people see these things and the stuff that we talk about can actually happen, somebody have to be the orchestrator. And I'm that person, with all due respect, with my brothers that's been here with me for years as a body. So all our experience and all our honesty, we can sit at the round table and really do this. Why? Because we coming with some to the table already. What? Land. Dantes, we coming with the land and the knowledge how to acquire the land, and the knowledge how to put it in our temple name, and the knowledge to have subordinate temples in everybody's state. Just like if it was a church or structure and operate off our tax-exempt status. This is the power. I have a gift. All the other stuff, we got to let that ego go and all that. And I promise you, it's always a Michael Jordan in every dispensation. With all due respect, I'm him. No disrespect. And I ain't saying it like that or no disrespect. I have to. If elders telling me that, man, come on, man. I say this in the mirror every day. It's only a matter of time. It's only taking me longer because I ain't no scam artist, Dantes. I got the skills to be a scam artist because I'm educated. I know everybody that got hustle. I know their real names. I break it down. But it's taking me longer because I'm real, because I'm willing to put the work in. I'm willing to work. I take liabilities and make them assets. That's what this is about. I was a liability. I had to resurrect myself, so I know what it takes. I have a gift. I'm him in the flesh to bring my brothers together. I went and challenged academia. went got 2 degrees, lectured at the college, stood my ground, a member of the Philosophical Research Society, have my own fraternal order and my own charter. Man, we don't have to always honor people that's gone, all the people that's gone. I'm in the flesh. Dr. Ben gone, the prophet gone, Muhammad, everybody gone. And we honor all those that's gone. Clarence X gone, the Black Hitler of Harlem gone. Sheikh Anta Diop gone. We give homage to that. But man, I'm in the flesh, man.
Nah, yep. Nope, you're right, Sheikh.
With all due respect.
Islam. You're giving that,
with all due respect.
Islam. You're giving that science, Islam.
I'm putting the work in. I put the work in.
Islam.
I gather the information. I keep it 100. I tell all the Moors that got an elder bay, get with me. Don't get caught up in that. I can give you documents and show you this. But what it is, people don't want to be corrected. And so what? They act like they don't know. And that's why I say, well, you can't say you don't know. Not in a court of law. There's no excuse of not knowing the law in a court of law. And when you say you're studying moral science that the prophet put out and all the information is for public view, it's for public access, which I tell everyone, man, it's going to be used against you. I say this all day. And so I'm telling my brothers and sisters, we can recreate what we don't have to recreate the Moorish Science Temple. We the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School. A group of brothers and sisters that can come together, that can learn, that we can teach our kids. We can learn about finances. We can learn about infrastructure. We can learn building. We can learn community development, all with us, and use our own finances. That's what this is about. And so I ask all my brothers and sisters to come join us. I ask everybody to hit me up. You don't have to, it ain't about no religion to me. Man, if y'all look me up, I love all religion, to be honest. Man, I was a divine minister in 2 churches in the city of Flint, St. Paul Baptist Church and Mount Olive. Just like the prophet, I went through all sciences. I went through all science and I spoke fire just like this in the church. This is what I'm telling y'all, man. I'm not just on no YouTube thing or doing that. Man, this is my life. And I went to the university and got a master's degree in what I'm talking about. And so this is what I'm telling my brothers and sisters. Come on, come on, man.
Thanks.
You know, and we need your support to how? To at least, how can I say, to match what those greats have done already. To at least say, man, you know, look, we took the opportunity to do something that we said we wanted, and look what happened. It actually manifests. Because it's only a small tittle that hustled us, and nobody on here been hustled by those characters. None of my brothers ain't been hustled by none of those characters. They might have been hustled by some other things or whatever. I wouldn't say hustle, or, you know, someone trying to convince them something. But when the real come, the real is easy, because you can compare those two. Just like when I tell you in business, if it sounds too good to be true, it's not true. I just give you things to compare to. So once again, Dantes, thank you for your time, man. And thank you for just coming on here and you know, running our StreamYard. You know, everyone is more than welcome to join us privately on StreamYard. And we just want everybody to come and join us and support everything that's about the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School, and help us get to that brick and mortar to where we will be a big difference, not in one community, but in all communities, because this is something that we need. But thank y'all, man, and thank you for your time, Dantes. Can you give us our Moorish American prayer, or if you got anything that you want to add, you know?
Just to your point, Sheikh, you know, honors obviously for everything that us muftis and nobles, empresses of the BBT, what we get, you know, and just to your point, you know, the 10 acres, you know, we have it. It's time to develop that area. It's time for us to come together and do what we need to do, you know. So, and we want the support, and we need the support from everyone who tunes in to the BBT each and every day, you know. So just honor Sheikh, you know, just honors for everything that we're getting here, everything that we will be, that we're developing, and for everything that's to come. And if you enjoy this message, if you enjoy supporting something real, you know, this is who we are here at the BBT. Visit the bbtsciencetemple.com, morrishaberdasher.com, mypdfbooks.com, that's books with a Z.com. If you would like to support, you know, what we have going on with the BBT and our land that we're going to be developing in Arizona, you can reach out to our Burning Bush Zelle account at 602-473-8767, 8767 and reach out to burningbushtabernacle.ts@gmail, goodmancurry@gmail.com. Honors for the information that was put out there today. Get with it. We need this information, and at the end of the day, it's about application. So Islam and gratitude to you, Sheikh.
Man, gratitude to you, Noble Dantes, and your time. And just like I said, y'all, I'm just trying to give y'all something back that a lot of us might not be able to get, especially those that might not go to academia or might not even know where to get these books to cross-reference. We have a full library, So once again, man, I'm just encouraging you. If you a studier, if you like ebooks, get with me. I'll give you bundles. If you wear turbans and fezzes and all that, get with us. We want you to be right here with us, man. Give donations and you will be a stakeholder and you will watch us buy our temple and school. You'll watch us buy land and all that because it's strength in numbers. We already have land to develop certain things. So once again, at least get into the know and at least hit us up, man, and ask anything that you want to ask. And with that, like I said, Noble Dantes, thank you. I know Noble Alonzo, he's traveling, man. We give Noble Alonzo traveling grace. And all the rest of the Muftis, man, peace and love. But once again, BBT, get with us. Noble Dantes, this is an empress that be following me. After we close, this is an empress that follow me on TikTok. I think her name is More Unity Farms. And she do farming, man. And I'll be speaking, but I always say Moors don't never say nothing on social media. And they follow you for so long, and with all due respect. And she friend with another empress, because see, I'm a troll too. This one, when people be on social media, be trolling, I'll be all on their stuff too. So when they come back, they be like, how you know this? And I'll be like, I know your address, boom, 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 and they be afraid. Why? Because I'm a researcher. Mm-hmm. You feel me, Dantes? I'm telling you, when I say I'm an extensive researcher, I'm a researcher. You'll be like, oh my God, he stay down the street from me? But anyway, it's the empress that follow me, and both empresses follow me. And one of the empresses have a nice little farm with chickens and things and all this. And I'll be speaking, and I'll be like, I speak in third person sometimes, which people know we own land. And I'll be like, man, I know a person on here that's a farm that got a farm and this and that and the other. And I said, we have 10 acres. Don't you want to take it and be bigger? Mm-hmm. If we say more unity and all, I'm just asking, I don't know. If you want to be private, fine. But at least be willing to say, I'm just saying, if those individuals needed to learn and say, you know what, these group of Moors, not only nobles and empresses and young kids, and they all stakeholders to this 10 acres, and they get ready to put a greenhouse on it. And I'm a Moor and I've been following this, man. I can at least dedicate my time and be a part of this. I know how to grow this. I know how to raise chickens. So I can at least pass down my skills. And now I'm a stakeholder of what? All this.
Islam. If that's your expertise, why not get involved? If that's your expertise.
This, what I'll be saying, where a lot of times Noble Malik said they watched so-called Jesus crucified. And he was like, you see what I'm saying, Sheikh? And I picked up what he was saying. He was like, they act like they don't know, but they was right there in their popcorn. They just watched. Instead of doing anything, you just sit there and watch. And have the expertise and the withal to jump in and help things grow faster. Why? Because you already do it on a small level. Now, just imagine, Noble Dantes, you got 100 people on that small level that come together with the BBT with land. And you got 10 more brothers that's brick masons that know how to lay structures. You got 10 more brothers that's contractors. You got 10 more brothers that's electricians. You got 10 more brothers that know how to XYZ. You got 10 more brothers know how to do this. Bam!
Get to work.
On 10 acres. Mm-hmm. Yes. On 10 acres. On 10 acres.
It's long.
So, thank y'all, man. Get with us. All our information is in the bio.
Peace and love. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is our protector, our God, and our salvation. By night and by day, through his holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Shalom Aleichem, Ayah Esha'ayah, Islam, Amen. Peace, 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 peace. Our talisman benediction, our closing holy prayer reads as follows. May the benediction of Allah be upon thee and thine always. as thou should strive to be a credit to Allah. Make haste to bestow thine acts of love upon thine brethren, and do the best to shun thine evil ones. Remember to take suckle of the breast of knowledge, wisdom, fortitude, charity, love, and all standing, that you might nourish the souls of men. And let truth be the shield in the manifest battle of falsehood. Know that Moors need not pick the lock to the gates of paradise by means of petty or criminal theft. For behold, the key to salvation already rests within thine own hands. And yes, even though a portion of our nature is weakness, instability, and inconsistency, there is still the greater part of our nature that is divine. May Allah protect thee, guide thee, preserve thee, lengthen thy age, and give thee everlasting peace. Ad-Akman, Ad-Akim, Yamu Hamim. Islam, amen. Peace, 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 peace. Wow.
Peace.
I'm a spirit speaking, truth seeking, heart reaching, knowledge leaking, seeds sowing, harvest reaping, man of meager means. I have yet to leave, I'm still breathing. To quit, I have no reason. I mean, I'm asleep, but I be trying to live my dreams. I cannot even act if it's all easy. Either you gon' do it or you don't. Really, it ain't no in between. Baby, you can ask the sun, it's an everyday thing. Consistency in your routine is how you bring reality. Working like a slave, that's how I made this masterpiece. Living like a god, I lay at night, I rest in peace. They remember me, but I am not Haram or beef.